gantā tāvat tiṣṭhatīti kathamevopapatsyate gamanena vinā gantā yadā naivopapadyate.
Gantā tāvat tiṣṭhatīti katham evopapatsyate gamanena vinā gantā yadā naivopapadyate. MMK chapter 2 verse 16. How will it ever be possible that a goer right now is stopping, when it is not at all possible for there to be a goer without an act of going? So this is almost the same as verse 9, except where verse 9 has gacchati, is going, this verse has got tiṣṭhatīti, is stopping. So verse 9 will be gantā tāvat gacchati katham evopapatsyate gamanena vinā gantā yadā naivopapadyate. So exactly the same. This verse is exactly the same, except the first para is gantā tāvat tiṣṭhatīti, which means a goer right now is stopping, whereas verse 9 has gantā tāvat gacchati, a goer right now is going. So I needn't really discuss the grammar of this verse in detail, because you can just refer back to verse 9 for clarification of it word by word. And as far as the meaning is concerned, again you can refer to verse 3, which was yamanasya gamanam katham naivopapadyate gamanam gamanam yadā naivopapadyate. So the second para of this verse is the same as that verse, except we've got nama instead of eva as the emphatic word, and the fourth para is exactly the same, yadā naivopapadyate, when it is not at all possible. In verse 3 it says gamanam gamanam, which means there is going, there is now being visited without the act of going. And this verse has gamanena vinā gantā, which means there is a goer without an act of going. So all three verses are emphasizing the point that originally there is no separation of things that we create. We create things and we create separation between things by the conceptions, by the samskaras, the samskaras that we make mentally out of ignorance. So we make samskaras in three ways: with body, speech and mind. And the Alexander technique is very much about not doing samskaras with the body. But on a deeper level, when we actually investigate what that is, it's like Alexander said, it's the most mental thing there is. And so if you want to stop doing samskaras, like as I said in the previous verse, the two ways that we make samskaras, if our vestibular system is not reliable, when we think up, is we make samskaras this way, we do this, or we make samskaras this way, and we do that. So on a superficial level, Alexander work is a kind of body work, and the point is not to do that and not to do this. But why did Alexander in that case say that this work is the most mental thing there is? Because on a deeper level, the the gross misuse that we manifest with our bodies is actually rooted in mental samskaras. For example, the conception of a right posture. We think that there's such a thing as right posture. Alexander said, as the antidote to that, there is no such thing as a right position, but there is a right direction. So we have to re-educate not only our vestibular system, we have to re-educate our way of thinking so that we stop thinking in terms of definite things that can be definitively, finally grasped, which Alexander called end gaining. So, what's that got to do with this verse? How did I get onto that subject? Yeah, so gantā, tāvat, tiṣṭhatīti, katham, evopapatsyate. How will it ever be possible that a goer right now is stopping, or that a goer right now is going? That's only possible if there is a goer separate from the act of going, or a goer who is separate from the act of stopping. So there's no separate goer, no separate act of going, and as this verse by extension makes clear, no separate act of anything. No act of stopping, no act of talking. So what there is originally is totally beyond our understanding. But we can deepen our understanding of what it's not. And it's not the samskaras that we construct in our effort to make sense of it. And we do that with body, like in the Alexander work. Obviously, we see how the body manifests these samskaras. But more deeply, there are mental samskaras. There's making of samskaras that we do with our thinking. And then there's the samskaras of speech. And so, both in Sanskrit and English, we have subject, verb. Gantā, gacchati. Gantā, so that's bad pronunciation. Gantā, gacchati. Gantā, gacchati. The goer goes. Gantā, tiṣṭhatīti. The goer stops. So it's subject, verb, agent, action. That's how we think in Sanskrit and in English. And that's how we make a divided world. Because those words become flesh. That's even before we start talking about subject, verb, object. So what there is, let's call it an empty dharma happening. We describe it as subject doing a verb. The way out of the mess is in the absolutely turning words of the second pada. Tiṣṭha yatra gatis tatra. Where there is bodily action, there is a way to go. So the way out of the impasse is bodily action. Not a subject doing something. Tiṣṭha yatra gatis tatra. So we're really studying what those words don't mean. So those words don't mean that there's a subject who does a bodily action. Tiṣṭha yatra gatis tatra. There's a way to go. There's a path, gati, where there is bodily action. So if this all seems difficult to understand, how about just sitting as near as you can to upright and just reciting the verses, listening with your ears, listening with your whole body, and never mind how bad it is. Just recite the words in Sanskrit. That's a kind of bodily action, like a child learning a nursery rhyme. So verse 3, you recite it, and it'll stick in your memory eventually. So from memory, verse 3, yamanasya gamanam katham naivopapadyate yamanam gamanenam yadā naivopapadyate. Verse 9, gantā tāvat gacchati katham evopapatsyate gamanena vinā gantā yadā naivopapadyate. And once you learn verse 9, verse 16 is a piece of cake. Gantā tāvat tiṣṭhatīti katham evopapatsyate gamanena vinā gantā yadā naivopapadyate. How will it ever be possible that a goer right now is stopping, when it is not at all possible for there to be a goer without an act of going?
gantā tāvat tiṣṭhatīti katham evopapatsyate gamanena vinā gantā yadā naivopapadyate.